Welcome to Crimson Guitars, welcome to my home studio, and welcome to an addendum, a follow-up, a continuation of a series that went live a few weeks ago now. And, well, I built this bass. We decided during the live streams following that build, check out the side channel, and we decided to make it fretless. And I said in the prize competition giveaway thing that if the person who won it wanted to, well, I could put frets in. And of course they did. Now, to be honest, I actually don't think that that is too much of an issue in the slightest, because quite frankly, I've never done this before. So, should be fun. All right, welcome. Should we get on with this? Okay, now this is a live stream. I'm streaming this. It's at no notice, so I'm surprised there's as many of you here as there are. Same rules apply. I'll answer questions as I can. I don't have anybody else in the studio with me, although I do have windows open and things, so you might well hear children running past screaming bloody murder, or I don't know. Well, you all know what children are like. No, Google, I'm not going to insert an advert. Nice try. Super chats, gratefully appreciated, and I will answer the questions. That's a little spider. Go and live on the camera. There you go. And we're all good. So Paul Cook, how you doing? Says getting those fret markers out might be fun. I think it should be okay, because yeah, we'll see. We'll see. This is going to be interesting. Now, I am not necessarily going to stick around right through to the bitter end of the level, crown and polish. That is something that you guys have watched me do a multitude of times. It's just not necessary. If we're having fun, cool, we'll stick around. If not, there's no need. Pippin, the what is he? King Charles Poodle Cross? Cavalier King Charles. Cavapoo, there we go. He always wanders in and steals something random off the floor to just sit and chew. Anyway, Mark Milligan, how you doing? Says, I was still watching the Taylor show and tell, but I'll finish that later. That's on the main channel that went live today as a sort of an apology for nothing going live on Saturday. Joe Black, how you doing? Sitting at home with the Rona, so not great, but at least no work, and you get to watch a live stream. So, and thank you very much. Rab Knox says, morning Benny, any idea on when the inlay powders will be available again? Rab, those should be available now, so I will send that message over to somebody as we speak. Now, just as a side note, I am expecting a flurry of messages through today. I'm not ignoring you. I'm not trying to be rude, but there we go. And that was a flurry of messages that I've got. No worries. I remember now. Haha. Okay. There's a lot going on. Tim Ziegler, how you doing? From Colombia, and 5 AM in Colombia. Ape Song, how you doing, Ape Song? Joe Black, Master of the Nuclear Village, Jedi Master, Squirrel. I like it. Black Wraith, and yeah, Rabnox was first in with the thing. So welcome everybody. Tony P says, might as well put some binding on it to hide the deep slots. Well, this is the thing. There are deep slots, or slightly deeper slots, where the markers are, and that's not going to be an issue. You're probably not going to be able to see that on the overhead camera here. It's only slightly, and I think it just adds to the story of the guitar. At this point, this isn't a guitar build. This is a guitar renovation. We built the instrument, we built the bass, I finished it, we did what we needed to do. And it is what it is. The winner, whose name I've just completely forgotten, hold on. How rude of me. Let's have a look. Frank is the gentleman who won it. He bought 30 tickets for the competition, and he's ended up with a very, very, very cool, very cool bass. Now, I am diabolically bad with names, so let's just write that down there. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and squirrels, we're good. I am let me just talk to the editor quickly for a second. I am going to stop and start the recording. Don't worry, you're not going to get a 5-hour edit to wade through. It's all good. I apologize. Let's look at this instrument first. So, here we are. The strings are brand new. I'm not going to change the strings. Adding frets is going to raise everything up a little bit. I might need to do something. I will need to do something with the nut. Absolutely. I might need to make a new one or put a shim underneath. A brass shim under there could be quite cool. But that's not going to raise the... It's not going to lengthen the strings by enough to require me to replace them. That's a really badly placed camera. Hi, how you doing? But the first thing to do is to remove the brass inlays that are there, gently showing the musician where the slots are. So we need to get rid of those. Now the thing is, those were put in at an angle, and here it's actually relatively sharp. So if I cut the glow-in-the-dark material out of the slot and get a tiny chisel or blade or something under there, it should work fine. I think cutting that with a saw, I would slip off to the side because the brass is so much harder. So I do need to remove that. And I very well may need to use heat at some point. I'm not averse to using fire every now and then. Okay, so, well, there we go. That's good. No worries. Streaming now. Good luck. That's good. Now she's typing again. Hey, Creever, that's all fine. That's good. I've stopped recording. My audio's going. My system is working. Welcome to the new studio. I think this is the first live stream that I've done since moving the workshop over here. It's the first live stream build that I've done. It all appears to be working. The leads and cables and nonsense on the floor are not all packed away. So if I fall over on my ass and don't get back up again, please phone the Crimson headquarters and let them know that I've injured myself. That would be hilarious. So in the live stream on Sunday evening, just gone, I made the joke that I would like to die at my workbench. I didn't mean quite now. It's like yesterday, Orson got his first skateboard, and we were going up and down the road, and he said, "Oh my God, I haven't fallen over yet. I don't want to jinx it." And then the very next time he touched the board, 3 seconds later, he absolutely stacked it. It was hilarious. Okay. So, Dan Lockhart says, do you think the headstock needs a string tree? I don't. It could, but it's not necessary. I put more wines on it. I think that the instrument feels absolutely fine without it. But there we go. Now, I wonder if Frank's actually going to come in and have a look at the have a look at the stream. Doug Santianolo says, why are you putting frets in? I think it's great the way it is. Doug, I absolutely agree, but Frank, who's the guy who won the competition to own this beautiful instrument, has only been playing bass for 2 or 3 years, I think he said, and he would prefer frets. And frankly, I fully expected to be doing this video. I enjoy the thought of making a fretless instrument, but it's the same way as making a left-handed guitar. If you're going to make an instrument for a very small subset of your audience, then you're going to have to make changes. Any left-handed guitar that I make on spec is not going to be what the left-handed player particularly wants. And the same thing with the bass. Bass is like 5% of the people watching this, maybe, if that. And most of them are used to frets. So I've made an instrument for a subset of a subset. And yeah, it's not good. Crazy hands. Okay. Let's just get this camera set up and we can start moving. I've also got a coffee just waiting for me to start. Partaking. I've limited my coffee input to 2 a day, so this is only my second coffee of the day. And yeah, this is problematic. Tony P is asking what the original board radius was. I'm not entirely sure. I will have to check. I think it's compound. Thomas Moon agrees. He says it would be sadder if he left it fretless and then it sat in a corner not being played. It would be even sadder if he didn't play it and then he just sold it on to somebody who wasn't part of the experience of the videos and all of that. So there we go. Alex Jernquist says, I love the new build onto your workshop, man. Thank you very much. I'm really, oh, phone can go in there, how's that? I'm so happy. I've got so much more space. I can't believe how much timber I found that's now in a proper timber store on the Triton tool racks, wood racks, sorry. I still don't have enough room for all my old tools, but hey. Okay. One of my favorite things about this bass is that brass filled acorn? What the hell would you call that? Around the truss rod access. So I want to save these strings. But they do need to be taken off. At the very least left there, so that way they're not going to tangle up. Woohoo! Genius! Maybe I'll put something under there. Maybe I'll put something under there, just to stop any potential rasping. Oh, that's still not focused on that. My gosh. Put some masking tape under there, just to protect the edge of the base. And we're away. Okay, now I warn you, I'm pushing stop and start on the record button. So essentially the way the streaming system works is I can go live and I can record and I can do these things concurrently. The problem is the two buttons are right next to each other. If in stopping recording, to make life easier for the editors, I push the on-air button, well, I don't know. We'll see. Rob Ashby just says, inlays? No. No, I like the clean look. You've got the side dot inlays. Although that's a very, very good point. I should have actually talked to Frank beforehand about the potential of putting inlays in. Tony, I am not the expert on bases. But anyway, let's measure the radius. We are... Yeah, I'd found... Yeah, so that's... Okay, so we're at 10. Yeah. Okay, I'm using the overstring ones because I can't find the others. Yeah, the radius is 10 inches at the nut. It is actually almost 20, so yeah, it's going to be 18 or so at the end there. Nice. Mark Milligan says, only 2 coffees? That seems restrictive. I'm similar, but my limit is 4. 2 in the morning, 1 at lunch, and possibly 1 in the afternoon. I've been told I need to make some serious inroads in my blood pressure, and reducing from the inordinate amounts I was drinking beforehand has immediately reduced my blood pressure. Crazy. Anyway, what can you do, eh? Rabnock says, we'll all disappear if you press that one. I'm not alone in thinking every now and then that I am the centre of the universe and that you guys are all just figments of my imagination. How else can I justify how perfect my life is turning out? Just because I'm worrying about it. Just the sharp ends. I don't want to damage the finish at all. Okay. Well, there's nothing for it. There's really nothing for it. The epoxy, I can feel where the epoxy is on the fretboard here. It's cured a little bit further, so just a tad lower than the fretboard, which probably means as a fretless it wouldn't have been absolutely perfect. No, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to hit it with a saw and see what happens. Aha! I've moved my saw. Would you look at that? By the way, there's a huge sale going on at crimsonguitars.com and vintagetoolshop.com right now, and these tool racks are, or should be at the very least, available on the website. What are we looking at here? That should do. We need more lights. Tom B says, wasn't this a bolt-on neck? No. And I did have to check. I'm doing so much work at the moment that I forgot. No, this isn't bolt-on. Okay, I want to set a depth stop first. I don't want to go too deep. Now we do have an acrylic insert that goes into these holes here on the Crimson saw. I prefer doing it. This way. That's better-ish. I need even more lights. Even more lights. Yeah, okay, that's nice. It's following in the hole quite nicely. Essentially the wood is harder than the resin in between it. I'm not cutting into the brass yet. I think that's just going to rip the brass out. I want to start with a smaller saw. My problem is I don't know where the particular saw I want is. Aha! It's going to take me a little while to learn all of this. And now I just need to film that whole thing again because I wasn't recording. Joe Black says, talking about orders, I wonder what's up with mine. I haven't heard anything for a long time. Please drop us an email. We've had a lot of change, but as far as I was aware, we were caught up with absolutely everything and everything is in stock. So chances are your order's been lost in the post somewhere and your notification email might well have gone to junk. Check your junk, but also sounds like a testicle cancer PSA. Please drop us an email, shop at crimsonguitars.com, and we'll go from there. Too many emails. It's a bit better. All right, so the saw's cutting through the softer epoxy quite nicely. I've got a little bit of brass down the end there. I'm not sure how that's going to react. Let's go in with Oh, that works perfectly. Look at that. It's almost as if this saw was designed specifically for this job. Also, that is Jasper, the lower growlier, older sounding dog, and Pippin barking at nothing. Sorry. Okay, so this has got a little not sure. Nope, he's ignoring me. He probably can't hear me. Ba-dum. Okay, I'm going in with the back of the scalpel blade. If necessary, yeah, if necessary, I can refinish the fretboard. I just don't want to. Yeah, that would work. Heat. I don't like applying heat to a fretboard unless I can absolutely help it. All right, let's see. So, oh, now we're talking about blending coffee and chocolate. Johan van Loopy says it's my birthday month, so expect an order coming in soon. Fantastic. And it's the best time to do it. Everything's on sale, up to 15% off. JS, we have no idea what the dog's barking at. He's very old at this point. HS Guitars likes a scoop of coffee in his a scoop of ice cream in his coffee. Oh, that does sound really nice. Scalpel blade cut on either side of the thing. Mark Jennings, how are you, Mark? Morning from a 3-month member on this channel. Hope you're all doing well. Mark, I appreciate that. And I think we are. I think we are. How are you? So my problem is here, if I apply direct heat with a scalpel blade, if I apply, let's record this. So if I apply direct heat to the brass with a soldering iron, for example, which is the first thing, I would be burning around the brass, and I don't want to do that. If I cut on either side of it with the scalpel to loosen it a little bit, that could work, and that was a comment just there I've just read. I'd be widening the end a little bit too much. I would rather do it mechanically, if at all possibly. So what I'm going to do, yeah, goggles. I'm just going to lightly tap the end of the scalpel blade, see what happens. The alternative is I place the scalpel blade on the brass and then I heat up the scalpel blade so that the heat is going from the blade directly to the brass, and then that comes out. I think that's probably the best idea, but let's try something a little bit more hitty first, shall we? I have no idea what I just dropped, but I did get that brass out. Small piece, but it's a start. One down, a bunch more to go. Woohoo. Thomas Moon just took on his first fretting job ever. Stainless steel frets into a solid aluminium neck. Dear God, he says, at least it can't get any worse in the future. Yes, but you need to seriously think about your decision-making capacity. Wow. That sounds like an incredibly interesting job. I need more light coming from this side. This is just not good enough. How interesting. So if I start with this, no, it isn't. It really is easier just to start with this. So 2 fingers on the as a guide. And then we go in exactly as if we were just cutting the fret slot manually. Idea occurs to me, I can resharpen this saw if I need to. The idea occurs to me that I can resharpen the saw if I need to, and friction creates heat. And also the length of this slot is keeping the saw straight. Okay, so it's trying to push the saw that side, but a little bit of friction there should have warmed that up a little bit. I'm just worried about chipping things out here. There we go. Success. Oh, it is hot. Well, we have a technique. From here on in, it's just replicating that. Bonus. Tahoe Mike asks me if I've got a dental pick. That's a good shout. Thomas Moon says compressed air, freeze the brass to shrink it and it will come out. That is also an incredibly good idea. I don't have any compressed air, although I need to get some for experimentations with nitro, don't I? I'm more of a sort of just beat it until it sort of does what you want it to do kind of a guy in the first place. You guys are all far more clever than I am, apparently. I'm looking at the zip kicker stuff here. That's acetone. Anyway, no, this is functioning, but I do have a dental pick somewhere. Let's see. Not there. Oh my gosh, I went straight to them. Look at that. Okay, here's another option. A set of very oily dental picks. There's not a dental pick, that's a dental chisel. Ah! Ouch. There you go. This is the thing, you collect tools thinking one day you might need them. Amateur dentistry, anybody? Do you know what? That's the perfect tool. If this is strong enough, yeah, that could work really, really rather well. Okay, a little bit on the brass, warm things up. Lower that down. The pick is doing well at clearing the resin. It's not got enough strength to do anything with the brass. Okay, I'm just going to go down to the bench grinder, grind the point off this quickly. In fact, I can probably do it with a leveling beam. Yes, I'm aware if I slip it's going to cause some trouble. That's why the blade's pointing that way. There we go. And after all the trouble we took to put them in as well. It's the Stettler box, isn't it? The tools that I bought, the guy that I bought all these tools from, his uncle, I think, had just boxes and boxes and boxes full of, he obviously used a lot of pencils. So these Stettler Mars boxes are everywhere. Okay, so at this point it's going to get fairly repetitive. If you have any questions, I'm happy to talk. What happens if I push it in this way? I love doing stuff I've never done before. Don't you? River, how you doing? SM Maya says, anything worthy of adding to coffee is Baileys. I've got a problem with Baileys. Far too much sugar in it. Like, yeah. And far too nice. Whoops. Added to remember, how are you? We are cutting fret slots that have previously been filled with glow-in-the-dark material and brass, and it's not particularly straightforward. But it is what it is. An experience, and that's all we could ask for. going to take the blade area off as well a little bit. Now that is dangerous. Wait. Adam, to remember, congratulations on buying a house. And bribing your wife with coffee. Oh, there we go. That is so much better. All right, so using the leveling beam to take off the blade to blunt that down makes this so much better. It's not digging into either the brass or the fretboard, and it's working as a tool much more efficiently. I think we have hit upon a solution, people. Felix All-Star Bass wants to use the sounds of my hammering as a metronome to see what sort of crazy beats he can get. That would be awesome. I would love to see a remix or something like that. You could probably make, just using the saw and sounds from the workshop, planing, etc., you could probably make some fairly interesting tunes. There we go. Absolute perfection. I love it. Now we're cooking on gas. Sexy bearded Viking wizard, the badass Aussie, says, such a shame it's being fretted, but hey, whatever floats the winner's boat. I agree, and what floats my boat is your name. I kind of want to meet you. You sound fun. Huh. Well, there we go. That tiny little piece just fell out all on its own. The saw did it. Attic hatch sound, Bob Cowell, I kind of agree with you. The little brass inlays could well have caused some issues moving forward. With expansion and contraction, etc. Okay, I'm going to need to protect the top. There we go. As I move on, I need to protect that a little bit, so it's less about protecting it, more about letting me know when I start hitting somewhere where I'm not supposed to, or if I start hitting somewhere where I'm not supposed to. Yep, that little piece just fell out. That is so not in focus. I've got the cameras mounted on mic stands now, which actually works really well. Not quite heavy enough, but yeah, they're working. All right, so okay, cool. So we had a question earlier about the inlay powders. They should be in stock within the hour. Apparently we've just changed the containers for them. Sorry, lots of stuff going. Okay. Yes, I'm going to have to sharpen the saw at some point. Okay, P. Hayes is asking about nut slotting files. I will check, those should be in stock as well. So those we had to reorder stock of those recently. If they're not in stock, they're imminent. Okay, so with Not Slotting Files, we've got a pre-order listing going live now. We have been promised that they will be with us within a couple of weeks. So if you go and pre-order it now, within 2 weeks, we should be shipping it out to you. I remember when we bought them, it cost me a lot of money. That's Not Slotting Files, by the way. Any other questions on stock, etc.? This is a really good way of doing it. Bear in mind that not only do we have the sale going on right now, I should probably film this, hold on. Bear in mind, not only do we have the sale going on right now for Crimson Tools and all that jazz, we've also recently set so that in the UK it's free shipping across the board, and internationally, i.e. anywhere in the world, shipping is capped at no more than £20 per parcel, no matter what you are ordering, whether it's a set of templates that would normally cost £50 or £60, or 5 sets of templates, or a kit guitar, or a guitar. £20, no more than £20 shipping, because we love you guys. And I say that ironically. We love you guys and we really appreciate your support. Now, look at that. 2, 4, 6. There's only 7 left. Haha. It's an absolute pleasure, Adam, to remember. It's a pleasure. All right, let's see. Questions, queries, comments. No super chats, no adverts. YouTube, leave me alone. Okay, no queries. We're all just here to watch me do this. Loy, Ben's next video, sharpening saws. I'm not good at that. Watch. Damn it, can't remember the guy's name now. Okay. Johan van Loopy, the issue with the stock stuff is that it's really annoying that there have to be the questions. We should have everything in stock all the time, and that's what we're working towards at the moment. But the reason I do the live streams is so that I can hear from you guys what's happening with the business from your end, essentially. It's really important to me. So yeah, it's a pity when stuff goes wrong, but I can fix it when it does. Anyhow. Paul Sellers, thank you, Mark. That's it. Who he always calls Peter, me too. Yeah, Paul Sellers' videos on saws and saw sharpening are really, really good. Makes me feel very inadequate, to be honest. This one's being a little bit problematic. Ha ha! There we go. Thread pullers. What's more, I knew exactly where they were. All right, we've got a question here from Trish Good. Trish Good says, and thank you very much, Trish, this is the first super chat of the day. Trish says, my husband Tom says, forget the beer guy, Ben is the most interesting man in the world. Crikey. I am now going to blush and change the camera. Thank you. You guys are insane. 5 to go. nearly there. All right, so here's another question. This is Frank W86 says, hey Ben, sorry for making you all the extra work. Oh, he's that man who won the guitar, the bass. Sorry for making you do all the extra work. My other fretless bass is gathering dust in the corner. I wouldn't want that to happen with this one. Look, we absolutely agree. And as do 90% of the people watching. I should have made it fretted from the beginning, but we live and learn. Next time round, well, we'll see what happens next time. I've got so many ideas for basses moving forward. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Okay, one more to do. We are nearly there. And congratulations, Frank, on winning this beastie. Seriously, we're well. I'm doing this today so that we can ship it out to you before I have to go on. I'm off on holiday on the weekend for a week with the family, and I wanted to get this done before then. So it will need to sit for a little while, probably, just to see if there's going to be any movement now that I've done this. But you'll be having it very, very shortly. And yeah, it's all good. All good in the hood. You are so not cool, Ben. Be very careful not to hit the lower horn. I am very much in love with this instrument. Okay. Sweet Tea Guitars, how you doing? CT says, I didn't want to leave for work without sending a super chat. Cheers, man. Appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful holiday off to work. Peace and love. Profit and loss to you too, dude. And I will... well, I'll catch you on the flip side. This means there is not going to be a Sunday evening live stream. I got my dates wrong. So this Sunday I'm going to be probably without Wi-Fi. Oof. We'll see. Okay. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have been recording that bit. Push the buttons, don't push the buttons. Buttons everywhere. There's glow-in-the-dark powder everywhere. Okay. So I'm just going to tidy up a little bit before we move on. Little hammer by BC Woodworks, really cool. Right. I might need that still. There we go. Okay, so that took about an hour to get all of that gone and to figure out how to do it in the first place. I just need to go through the whole thing again, make sure that the depth is right. There are a few things worse than having to take a fret out because it's not going all the way down, it's not seating properly. And at that point, well, we can start playing with fret wire, can't we? Oh, that was close. Let's avoid that. Okay, next up, triangular file. I want to chamfer the edge of the fret slots just to make the fret seat easier. It stops you going in at an angle if you hit it slightly sideways with the hammer and you know, all of that jazz. Need to find it first. Okay. Nice. All right, hold on. Mark Jennings says, enjoy the holiday and have a beer or two on me. Thanks, man, appreciate it. I shall. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Lots and lots of family, lots and lots of children, and lots and puppies and nonsense. And I'm sure I'm going to find an excuse or two to find a guitar shop. We'll see. It's all fun and games. Okay. All right, come on then. There's like 200 of us here. There's not actually that many questions that I can see. Loy says, too much tools to find the one. There can be only one. We've got Lego going on. We've got... I am looking forward to a break, although I'm filming like a madman this week in order to fill up the next couple. Mark Milligan says, you'll survive without Wi-Fi, but have a lovely time off. I am not entirely sure I will. I'm taking my laptop along with I have to download Minecraft so that Jasmine doesn't lose her mind either. The two of us are a little bit more alike than the rest who enjoy not doing things. Headless fan fret, that's from Daniel Coyle. That could be fun. I think next bass probably almost certainly has to be fan fret. One of the guys, one of the builders in Great Guitar Build-Off built an incredible bass recently, and instead of fan fret, all the frets were curved, and it blew my mind. I wanted to do something like that for a long time. Didn't really think that it could be done. When I first thought of it 20 years ago, I want to do it. I want to do it. It looks incredibly cool. Okay. Yeah, everybody ask me questions about guitar building. Bjorn says, watching this while, knock on wood, doing the last soldering on my first guitar. Thanks for the inspiration and hope you have a nice holiday, Bun. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Yeah, finishing your first guitar is, I remember, an incredible experience. Trish Good says, okay, dumb question. Is your bench brush just an old paste brush or something special? It's only special to me because there was a former owner whose name you can't quite see. It's an old paste brush. Let's see if we can see this. So there's the name. You just make out somebody arse man, and I thought that was just hilarious. So it's one of my favorite tools of all time. I don't know. You can be an adult without ever growing up, and I think that's the way. But no, I particularly like these brushes. They're old paint brushes. I've got 2 or 3 of them. Here you go. Here's another one with larger stuff. I just like them. They're pretty. Jules says, hey Bun, think it's good that the bass now gets frets. Mailers out to stream out with pictures from my project. I will check that out soon, my friend. Thank you very much. Rob Shaw says, when leveling frets on a bass guitar, do you use a notch straight edge first as you would with a 6-string electric guitar? I do. And on that note, Crimson Guitar's notch straight edges are bass notch straight edges. We've had essentially, we've changed the way that we make them recently to make it so that we're not losing money on each one. This is the problem. We make things so well that when you delve into it, you're selling it for half of what you spend making it, which is not really a good way of running a business, really. But no, we've figured out that on our new CNC we can bevel the edges, which means that instead of somebody spending hours having to level the base notch straight edges, well, all the notch straight edges, it's done a lot quicker and with more precision, and a beveled edge on that notch straight edge actually makes it a better straight edge in the first place. because you can see far more finely. All the high-end straight edges have a bevel on them. So those will be coming to the website soon. I do have an early one somewhere. Where we are. I'm sure I've got a base one in here somewhere. There we go. Camouflaged. So, there we go. Oh, crikey. JL Photos says, oh boy, now I'm hooked on Paul Setter's videos. Sorry, Bun, I'm back now. Good, isn't he? Sadly, he doesn't do collaborations. I've spoken to him in person a few times, and yeah, he's not interested. He doesn't need it. My prescription's ready to pick up. That's some links I need to do. Oh my God, people, I've got some cool things. I've got some cool things coming up. We've got some wood that I'm going to be building at least 1 or 2 guitars out of as a commission for an incredibly cool individual. The wood itself is 41,000 years old, plus or minus 800 years. It's incredible, and it's not bog oak. Ha! Yeah, sorry, hi. This is going to be cool. Okay. Mark's got to run. Ben, call me when you're back from vacay. Frankly, man, I'm probably going to escape and call you during that. I'm looking forward to catching up on my messages in the downtime. While everybody else is just flat out enjoying the sun or swimming or whatever, I'm going to be bored. I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing. It's physically impossible. Mark Ellis says, sorry, I completely missed the boat on GGPO, just starting my build. A 630mm scale 5-string travel bass. 630mm scale, that's super short scale. That is... So I played a satellite bass guitar the other day that was, I think, a Fender scale, so 648mm, and I couldn't believe that you could get a bass that sounded cool at a guitar scale. And I nearly bought it there and then, £150. I nearly bought it there and then to bring back here and then do a replica thing. And within 4 days, you're here saying, oh, you're building a bass at that scale length. It's incredible. Okay, he says, will I have any problems doing an upright bass inspired headstock, kind of like Boba Fett? Cheers. No, you shouldn't. The tension, as long as it's strong enough, you should be fine. And just by adding a few veneers front and back, if necessary, you would be absolutely fine. You're also adding more material. It's thicker in order to do that Boba Fett style headstock, and therefore, you'll be good. You will be good. David Lucia, talking about watches, says, how do you rate the Bremont? I've never been able to get my hand on one, but I love the look of some of them. So this one, it's a little bit weighty, it really is, but I particularly love the way that it's put together. So obviously you've got your, you know, it's a really good watch. But you've got your outer case, then you've got an inner case that sits in there, and that, to me, that design is pretty epic. Sorry guys, focus. I love the way that works, and then on top of that, the movement and all of that in there. And this is the Alt 1C, I think. It's a beautiful watch. I really like it. As chronographs go, the Moon watch is so much better, of course. It is somewhat smaller than my Seamaster Chrono Diver, Seamaster 300M Chrono Diver, which is, I suppose, the same sort of thing. The only difference is this doesn't have a screw down crown, so not... I'm waiting for all the concurrent viewers just to go, oh, he's talking about watches. Yeah, it's lighter than the Seamaster. It's a little bit smaller than the Seamaster, which is a comparable sort of watch. But because it doesn't have the screw down crown, I wouldn't go swimming with it really, whereas the Seamaster will go to 300 meters. It's in the name. But no, they're very, very, very nice watches. I've been to the factory, and yeah. Now, that being said, I did not pay full retail for this. I found it new in a sale for 1,500 quid off. And yeah, I'm not sure if I would pay full retail for it. It's incredible. It's a UK brand. And I love... The Seamaster is a better watch. This is cooler, in my opinion. So yeah, full retail, go for it. 1971 Silver Surfer, no, I have not yet built my new bench. P. Hay says, I'm new to this and a bit overwhelmed by the different stains Crimson offers. Could you maybe do a video showing the differences between the different stains, vibrant, water-based, spirit-based, etc.? So, yes. In reality, the vibrants are water-based, so the vibrants and the pastels and the water-based are all the same base. It's literally just the colours. Spirit-based and water-based, well, you need to buy every single one, basically. They're all on sale, so yeah, it's fine. No, I personally like using a combination of the two. So you'll have a dark substrate, which is spirit-based, followed by a colour that is water-based. And the two combinations, they don't mix, they don't get muddy in any way, shape or form, and it gives you a much, much better stain, in my opinion. So I will often use a combination of the two, but yeah, there will be videos. Dave Lewis says, this is very, very amusing. What's the heat and humidity been like in your workshop during July and this month? Dave, literally, as I was reading the last comment, I'd come to the realization that I'm starting to get rather sweaty and hot, and I'm going to go down and open a few more windows. Now, I'm very lucky. The wind comes up and through. If there is any wind here, it gets funneled straight through the workshop and cools everything down. Humidity is horrible right now, but with the dehumidifier going and all that, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine, pretty much. Paul Need says, ancient wood, giants, Koya? No, think New Zealand. Oh, anonymous bot got it in one. Ben, is it Swamp Cowrie? As in Jan Ackerman's Lancaster. Got it in one, yes. Swamp Cowrie. It's taken 4 years to get it legally exported from New Zealand, and yeah, long process. It's all right and proper, and it's going to be incredible. Paul C says, the spirit stains are awesome, but use in a well-ventilated room with a respirator or you'll be coughing for hours. It is spirit-based. It is not particularly good. It's not good for you, unlike most of our other products, actually. Anyway, look, let's crack on. I've done all of the super chats. I'm still wearing this. I'm going to open some windows and, yeah, figure out the next move. Can't believe nobody shouted at me for using a plastic handle on a file. The Artful Todger, yes, I do need to, essentially those old videos are not necessarily up to date anymore, so we do need to just film a whole bunch of videos on all of the products at headquarters that we do. And I've been meaning to do it myself, and I just don't have the time, although it would really be good if I did. So I'm going to be doing some of it myself, and some of it will be filmed at headquarters by other people. but there'll be a load of videos on the Crimson products and stains in particular going live, stains and finishes going live on the extras channel, on the side channel soon. Let me just go and open these windows quickly, and then we can go from there. I need to catch every little bit of breeze that there is. Okay, now, Daniel Taylor says, hi Ben, I'm currently building my 12-string budget-ish build, although currently up to around £300 in timber and hardware. Don't stint on the hardware, it's the thing. What are a decent set of budget active pickups? I'm looking at Alan Entwistle. Those are really good pickups, actually. I haven't used active myself for a long time, so I'm the wrong person to ask, I'm afraid. Let's see what people in the chat have got to say about that. Artful Todger says, good example is a Dremel router base that you sell. I haven't worked the little sod out properly yet. Okay, drop an email to Sam and hop on a call and he'll walk you through that. Yes, let me take a photograph of that comment actually, because that's a good one to film. Okay, fret wire. Fret bending jig. Where's my bending jig? I thought that was easily to hand in this corner. Way, haha, it is, look. It's actually in view. There we go. Right, so this time I need to get the Crimson fret bending jig up. This is the premium version of the two. If you can have a lot of wood on something, it's always preferable to me, at least. Yeah, I need to get this to be about 10-inch radius. Now, if the fret wire is radiused tighter than the fretboard, the ends go in and they don't want to pop out when you're hammering or pressing them in, and the ends will slide through underneath the fretboard with the knobbly bits of the tang pushing underneath fresh wood, so it holds it in more solidly. It's fantastic. Somewhat worried about that, actually. That's the wrong place for that. I'm actually worried about this base being damaged. Let's remove this parts caster from there. And check this. Festa Fright Caster. I couldn't say no. Oh no, tell you what, I've actually got the base case. No, I can't do that. This indecision is killing me. Guitar. I think this will fit on this. Nope, no it doesn't. Okay, you're just going to sit there carefully. There we go. That's fine. Stay. I'm a professional. I honestly am. Okay. All right. Probably actually should put a thumb screw on that. Allen key. Damn it! I knew it was too big. One out. There we go, that's better. That's even tighter, so that's, yeah, it's going to be about 6 inches or so, so maybe dial it back just a fraction. Not that that's too much of an issue. Now pulling back here, I'm actually straightening it out a little bit. There we go. That's about right. This is not, this doesn't need to be absolutely precise. I want some spring in the frets. Let me rephrase that. By saying I want some spring in the frets, I want them to be pulling themselves down into the fretboard rather than pulling away from the fretboard. Now, the act of hammering them in, of pressing them in, is going to remove some of that tension, but the default is always going to be pulling down towards the fretboard, and we will have a nice, well, we will have a nice time installing them, shall we say. Nicely done. I remember where it went, I honestly do. Beth McKellar says, I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. Quoting at Ben. Got me in one. Robert R says, is the bass that you're working on currently the one that was going to be fretless originally? It is indeed. Frank, the gentleman that won the competition to own this instrument, already has a fretless that sits at a corner doing nothing. So here we are. Trish Good, lighter is finer. On the old fret rubbers. I think it's Trish Good. Yeah. Old set of crimson fret rubbers. The grits are not marked. It has always been marked with medium fine, super fine. Unless you've got old from like a decade ago, which is possible, in which case it is still the same. The lighter rubbers are the finer versions. Okay. Woohoo! Now, that's all good. That's all good. Tidy up. One issue with neck rests is you need to be careful what's sitting in here. And after all that, it was just resin dust, but you never really know. I might forget to clean that up and put a guitar with nitro on it that might react with the dust in some auto magical way that I don't know about, and you've got an issue. So always clean these things. Onwards. Now, it feels so weird coming to this side to get my cutters. They've always been on that side up to now. Side cutters, these are Morn Industries. They're incredible. I absolutely love these. And yeah, it's just a case of setting your cameras up at the right angle so you can actually show what you're doing. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, it does feel really cool having 4 cameras just sitting here all doing their thing. It's also just a little bit overwhelming keeping track of what's going on. Let's hang this baby back up. What should I do with this guitar? What do you guys think I should do with it? It's just a parts caster. Dave Lewis says, Ben, have you considered building a Dan Electro style guitar out of hardboard? Dave, have you seen have you seen today's video on the main channel? On that video, I take apart a Taylor solid body guitar that is essentially flame maple veneer over hardboard, over very thin hardboard, and yeah, it's tempting. Yes, I have considered that. Okay. I was going to try and look at the stats to see how many people had actually watched that video. I think it's only just gone live. So, yeah, it's about 3,000 people. Okay, and it's an incredibly interesting guitar. Seriously, check it out. It's also available. We've put it up for raffle. What I'm doing at the moment is buying an interesting guitar, doing the part, moving it on, and then hopefully making a bit of profit to then put into buying an even cooler guitar. So there we go. Now, let's cut the fret slots. That's the thing. Okay. Who's that? Nikki Van Driel, how you doing? Great to have you. Paul Nee says, wow, would never have expected that from Taylor. I'm shocked. I was somewhat shocked myself. And I didn't call it hardboard, I called it MDF for the most part. But anyway. because I need to cut them longer than I need, and I want the jaws to close evenly on the tang section so that you don't twist it. I'm being a little bit more careful this time as well, because I've got a full finish on this guitar already. Or bass, shall we say. Whoops. Ah. Eric Jules says he voted for fretted from the start. He was correct. That'll do nicely. Okay. Bjorn says, when you burn your ankles, sitting cross-legged on the floor soldering. When I first saw that, I thought maybe this was one of those porn bots. When you burn your ankles sitting cross-legged on the floor soldering, you know it's time to get an actual workbench. Yes. And at that point, you're thoroughly trapped. You're obviously underneath the guitar and incapable of stepping back or moving. I mean, dude. Okay. Paul Cook says, you could turn a raffle on its head, auction a future build. Winner gets to spec it, you build it. But no fun for you when they say telly. That is something I had not ever considered and is a really interesting... It's interesting. I think my issue is I don't generally enjoy... I prefer, let's put it the other way around, I prefer building whatever happens rather than having a customer specifying what I need to do, if you know what I mean. But anyway, Apesong asks what the major differences are between bass and guitar fretwire. Not very much. You tend to go for larger on basses, but this is medium jumbo, which is, you know, what I use on guitars a lot of the time as well. Dave Lewis loves the colour of the neck on this bass. Thanks very much. Dave Lewis also says, Ben, I was going to watch it when I noticed you were live. This is talking about the Taylor guitar. We'll watch it later. I recently got a slimline down electro guitar and haven't put it down since it arrived. I do think that you're going to see some interesting things coming out. I'm going to be buying some down electros. Now that I've got a way to move them on, have the thing, enjoy it, maybe keep it, but learn from it. And there's some, I've got some serious research to do on old guitars. Rab Knox has got to go do some work. See you soon, dude. Rob Shaw says, Ben, that Telecaster guitar would look great either matte black or chrome, in my humble opinion. Yeah, that could be fun. At some point, I do want to chrome a guitar. I think I can use shielding paint in order to do that. Trish Good, yes, this ebony is fretboard. And yes, it's variegated ebony, and I agree. I prefer the look as well. Sandy Drozdek, how you doing? Says Leland Sklar, sorry, has his basses fretted with mandolin fretwire, so super tiny fretwire. I've been playing a 60s Music Master II, which has got tiny frets and a short scale and a tiny nut and all that. I absolutely love it, and I think that on the next guitar that I build for myself, I'm going to have far smaller frets. Just feels better to me. So yeah, and people say, Eric Jules says, tiny frets are catching on for bass, mandolin size. I have some on my bench now. There we go. Okay, let's crack on with this. Yes, let's crack on with this. I love this one. This is a fun trick. So obviously we don't want the frets skittering about the place. I also don't want them standing up in holes, because you slip, you stab them through your hand, you get nickel silver poisoning and all that jazz. Not fun. They're all in position. And out of the way. Ta-da! Problem is, I need to stick them to my bench, and this bass is taking up most of that space. So flip that over, sticky side up. And then I'll take the tape the ends down. Just like that. All good. All right, we've got a super chat from Rick Simpson, the OK bassist. And I don't recognize that name because he's changed his name. Hi, I've changed my name, no one can pronounce Austerman. I'm now questioning whether I've been saying it right this whole time or not. Let me know. I messed up a volute position on a fretless bass I'm building. I've cut it off and glued up multi-layers of veneers. Will this add strength or was it pointless? So if you have added, I'm assuming what you've got your break angle and you didn't have a volute. You've now glued on multiple pieces of veneer where the volute would have been and carved a volute out of that. I think that you've definitely added mass. I'm not too sure if you've added strength or not. I think maybe, to a certain extent, yeah. It should be fine. Honestly, so many guitars have no volutes. I've got two Les Pauls sitting over here. Here we go. Are we going to actually be able to focus on those? Okay, fine. They're right next to the doors, so I don't particularly want to look at that. So yeah, I've got the two Les Pauls there. The one on the left has got a broken headstock because it has no veneer, no volute. And of course, now I bought it knowing that it had the broken headstock because I'm going to do something interesting with it on the channel, basically. We shall see. Okay, Bjorn says, here's a question. I'm wiring just one P90 plus a volume. Wiring diagram say I need to solder a third ring on pot to the pot itself. What does that do? What happens if I don't do that? It doesn't work. Essentially, you've got, yeah, just follow the diagrams. I don't know the theory behind it. That's it. Your signal, if I'm not wrong, I'm not good at electronics. Your signal, the excess signal is going to ground. So without that, it won't work as a volume control, basically. I think that's right. I'm dredging it from the mists of my memory. Anyway, fretting hammer. Now, so that fits nicely in there. I always fill the fret slots with glue, and today is no exception. So actually, I've jumped the gun just a little bit. Let's make sure everything is ready and good to go. Okay, there we go. So I always put glue in the bottom of the fret slots. It's not necessarily to glue the frets in, it is to solidify the neck. I don't want any cavities in there, just wood glue does absolutely fine. This is also much easier to clean up after the fact than super glue or anything like that. No matter how careful you are with a wicking tip and all of that, super glue gets everywhere. You have to scrape the fretboard off. If you scrape the fretboard off, you have to sand it down. You have to hit it with a fret polishing rubber in order to normalize it. It's just so much work for no reason. Let's just use water-based glue and some tissue to clean it up, and you'll be all right. Let's do two just to start off with. I'll end up with 3 or maybe even 4 at a time soon. Oh, come on, babe. So I don't think that first one is fully seated. I also think I'm probably killing people's ears right now. So what do? Turn the microphone right down. Testing. Okay. So this cleans the excess off. There is going to be a little bit on the edge of the fretboard as well. But the nice thing about this is, when you come back in, you've had a little bit of water, and if you've got a gap on the underneath the fret, as you hammer it in, you should see where there was a gap. So that now is pushed a little bit more. There we go. We've got a tiny amount being pushed out from the edges, and we've got a nice, well seated fret. No more cleanup required. Testing. Okay, cool. All right, DJ Lish, hold on. DJ Reverb 99 says, do you need to shim or replace the nut? Would it be too low? It will be too low. I'm going to need to do the nut, absolutely. Yeah. Paul Cook says, Master Luthier fixes design, Gibson design flaw. Should get the comments on fire almost as much as relicking a PRS law. Yeah, so that's something else I really do want to do, relic that PRS. And I'm the pushback on the Instagram comment where I said I was going to do that is just so loud. I'm going to raffle that one off and get myself a PRS SE to experiment with, and then I'm going to go back to aging an American PRS at some point, just because, you know, it's fun. Why not? Now, here we go. There we go. Lois says, yep, it sends a signal dropped by the pot to ground, and it also avoids noise coming into your amp if you turn the volume down. It closes the circuit. So there we go. I was broadly right with what I was saying there. Okay, I'm going to turn this I'm going to turn my microphone right down so that I don't break your ears. I'm going to fret this as rapidly as possible. You guys talk amongst yourselves. If there are any questions, I will get to them in a bit. Rick Simpson, I really do. It's a pity you've changed your name, but yeah, I liked your old one. Is that going to be your brand name, maybe? I'm going to put in another isotune because fretting is loud. Okay, now volume right down. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay, and I'm still recording. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have done that. Hmm. Okay, I've just had an idea. Test. Test, 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 testing. 1, 2. There we go. All right. All right, so I just had an idea. Yes, we should have elevator music going. Whoever suggested that. Paul Cook, yes, it's wobbly mic stands. The floor's not quite great yet, but we'll get there. Using water to get rid of all of the glue is not absolutely necessary. Initially, what I should really do is pick it up with a stick. That'll get rid of the bulk of it, speed the whole process up. Okay. Crikey, I need to sharpen some tools. Yeah. Stay there. No, that's a little bit dirty, that one. Never stop thinking about better ways of doing things. I've been using this technique of glue under frets probably for 7 or 8 years now. And it's only just occurred to me that if I scrape the glue away first, it'll be faster. So just a little bit of nice little piece of wood. Let's see how that goes next time. Okay. Test, right down, right down. Okay, cool. I know what I'm doing. Haha! All right then, so that has kind of achieved what I wanted to achieve. Testing. The level is about right as well. Okay. The fretboard is almost perfect. There's a few little bits that could do with a little bit of cleaning, but it's far more efficient this way than it ever has been for me with super glue. And using the stick actually works really well. Spare not the stick, etc, etc, etc. I read too many books. Okay, so end of the fretboard here. There is glue. It's not entirely cured yet. So what I need to do is with the Crimson fret end cutters, just get rid of everything. That'll take some glue, and there's going to be some cleaning up as well. Okay, always be aware of the fret ends. You don't want them on your desk, on your workbench. I'm going to walk around the other side without moving the guitar. All right then. At this stage, that's that not straight edge that I left leaning up against the edge because I don't need it just yet. This has been fun. Ooh, look at that. There was a fret end that just managed to get itself into the neck rest, but well, I checked, so it didn't do any damage. Now, I'm just going to clean the sides of the fretboard quickly, and I think we're pretty much done for today. The bulk of this is sorted, and as I said at the beginning of this thing, I've done level crowning, polishing, all that jazz so many times. We don't need to do that live. I also do need to actually stop for a break for that matter. Now, the next thing you're going to see is me pushing the record button, because hey, there's no need for that now. Yeah, once the glue is dried, once everything is absolutely firm and solid and set and good to go, I will come back in. So this will be tomorrow afternoon probably, and I need to bevel the fret ends, get a nice angle. 25 degrees or so is my current preference, and then it's a standard level crown polish. I tend to buff up on with a buffing wheel on a bench grinder. It gets the quickest results. And that's that, pretty much. Okay, now, I'm happy to stick around and answer some questions though. So, what's up, everybody? From my side, it actually feels like it's going to rain this afternoon, which will be welcome. Okay. I think I do prefer this with frets, I really do. Bjorn says, if God had wanted us to solder things, he would have given us 3 hands. Bjorn is the luthier who has no bench and managed to burn his ankles while soldering cross-legged on the ground earlier today. Yeah, ouch. Okay, audio's good, we're still live. So I've just cleaned off any excess glue on the side of this. The last thing I want to do is leave that and then have something that's actually cured to have to clean up later. Although there is going to be some filing involved in a bit. Lisa, Ben, no! You're complaining about the frets. Unfortunately, Frank, who won it, unfortunately for you at least, Frank, who won it, needs frets. He's already got a fretless base that has very little use. So here we are. Okay, let's get rid of everything. Okay. Okay, Rosa Schlupfer, I mangled your name, I apologize, says, any idea what to use as or instead of a notched straight edge on a non-standard scale length? Your only real option is to use a standard straight edge along on top of the frets, which is what everybody used before notch straight edges were invented, it is a lot less accurate, but it does at least get you in the ballpark. That's the only option. I used that for the first 5 or 6 years of my career on maybe that's why I was never happy with my with my setups, to be honest. But yeah, that's your only real option in my opinion. Another way to do it, now that I think about it, is if you have a, say, 3 blocks of material that sit higher than the frets but are all exactly the same height. So for example, buy yourself 3 feeler gauges and set up whatever it happens to be. Put that one in the middle, one at the first and one at the last fret, and then put a standard straight edge over that. You will then be able to see if there's a gap in between the a gap anywhere. That's actually a pretty good idea. There you go. That's the one, I would say. I'm happy with that. Shaxonville says, has anybody suggested burning the parts caster from earlier? Shusugi bun the hell out of it. I've never considered properly Shusugi bunning something with an actual finish on it. I could Jimi Hendrix the shit out of that. That could be fun. Cool. Joshua Valverde says, Ben, good morning. Recap, please. I missed a lot. And you're popping in right at the end of the stream. So Frank won this bass. It was fretless this morning. And as I'm off on a family holiday next week, I decided to at least get started on the refret today. We've put frets in. We've taken all of the glow in the dark and the brass material out. There will be a video on the main channel in the not too distant, probably next week. And yeah, taking the brass out was a little bit fun. I had to modify a scalpel blade to use as a bit of a chisel, really. And the end result, though, is I'm really happy with how this is looking. I think it looks pretty damn cool. Although that image looks a little bit weird, come to think of it. My screen on which I can see what you're seeing is now a little bit higher, so I look weird. Okay. Okay. Okay, Paul Needs, yes, it says, if you recall my fretting issues, Ben, I do from the live streams. According to the Crimson fret slot gauge thingy, my slots aren't deep enough, so the saw, which is from Crimson, will be out later. Yeah, cut them deeper and you'd be absolutely golden. Yeah. As I said, when I started cutting these slots out earlier today, there are a few things worse than cutting the slot not quite deep enough because you've got to take the fret out, and just the whole thing just becomes a problem. Gothrider Creation says, hey Bun, are you coming down to Brighton? If so, you're all welcome to pop in for a coffee and Mrs. Gothrider will sort the barbecue. Very tempting. No, we're going up north this time, but yeah, at some point in the not too distant future, I very much want to take the whole family down to Brighton. I was there this past week with, what day is it? Wow, that was already last week. Crikey. With Orson, it was excellent. I really, really enjoyed it down there. P. Hayes says, what tools would you use to remove a polyurethane finish from a guitar? Fire! An Epiphone custom Les Paul, thinking about random orbital sander or using a scraper or something like that, but not so sure. Okay, so scrapers are, it would be hard work. Scraper mixed with heat gun or a blowtorch would be your best bet. Wear a gas mask and do it outside if at all possible. Don't burn too hard. You want to heat the finish up enough that it comes away. And with just a standard paint scraper, you should be able to peel almost all of the finish off in just one shot, really. It comes away relatively easily. After that, you hit it with a random orbital sander and go from there. If you put too much heat, you're going to start cracking joints. You are going to, this is a Les Paul style guitar, you're going to mess up the binding though, which is something to be aware of. Without heat, you can sand it all back with a random orbital sander. You could scrape it all back with just a scraper. It would be one hell of a job. Hell of a job. Matt Lang says north, Yeovil. Paul Cook's up north, Bristol. We're going to, I don't know. I just paid for what I was told to book. Well, it's on the calendar. I'll give you the address and everything. Oh, not that calendar. Cotswolds, there we go. Not somewhere I've ever actually been. So, are there any guitar shops up there that I need to visit? That's the question. Bjorn says, it works, it works! After all the pain. I've soldered a bunch of stuff together, I've hooked it up, and I have built the thing that makes noise. That's a good brand name for a guitar company. Cool. Dave Lewis says, I love my Crimson guitars, not straight edge. Thank you very much. I was never happy with my setups, and I'm still getting better to this day every time I do it. But yeah, I really had issues back then. If you watch the recent videos with, oh my God, Ken Parker, the way he levels his frets, which is horrifically janky, I don't know, was how I used to do it myself a long time ago. And we're better than that. He should be better than that. I love his work. I love his work. But anyway. Questions, queries, comments, talking about Fletcher's, canary wood, fretboard wood. After ebony, rosewood and maple, what wood do you like to use? Ziricote. Love Ziricote. Gonzalo Alves, which is also called tiger wood, is actually also really nice. Rob Shaw. Ben, now you have added frets to this bass guitar, it is transformed slightly and has a more menacing appearance. More gravitas is probably what I mean. It looked great before, but now it looks amazing. I agree with you 100%. I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy with how this looks. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen, obviously. Hell yeah. Maybe we need to make another one. Or two. It's funny, looking at something on a screen in front of you is quite different from looking at it in front of you in real life for some reason. I think I would like to make more of these. Yeah. Okay. Come on then. Do any of you have queries or comments? I feel, yeah, it's after 2 o'clock. It's time for a cup of tea. I'm only on 2 coffees a day now and 1 cup of tea mid-afternoon. It's sad, but necessary. So, yeah, Jamie, it could be, if people are interested in it. I'm not sure. So with regards to what Crimson is doing now, I'm not sure how much production stuff we're going to be doing and more limited runs. But we'll see. Yeah, I'd like to do some more of these. We're in the midst of the beginnings of, in my opinion, what's going to be a major economic shitstorm. And yeah, it's not the time to start new things necessarily. I don't know. We need to figure out. At Crimson, for example, our sales things have cut in drastically, like a third of what they were just a couple of months ago because of what's happening here. And the last thing I want to do is fire people or have to downsize in any meaningful way, which means I need to find other ways to generate the income to, you know, to pay the staff and all that. We've got 23 people who pay their rent and mortgages and things because they work for us. And that's one of the reasons why you're going to see a lot more raffle guitars and things like that. It's going to be interesting. I'm getting a warning here saying that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So, are we good or are we not good? I don't know. Okay, people still talking. Artful Todger. Squirrel management. That would be fun. Most of my time is definitely going to be spent with the families in any case. Big unit. Ben, would it be possible to dovetail join several different boards together for a fretboard? I think the look could be quite cool. Sort of sewn together. Yes, absolutely. Unnecessary, but cool. I've got a dovetailing jig in there actually. That would be weird. Yes, that's actually a really cool look. I say go for it before I do it. Alan Wood says, yeah, the video just glitched for a little bit. If anybody's having issues with the video, then just a refresh should be fine. Okay, excellent. I'm still getting the warning, but we should be fine. Robert R. Ben, have you ever tried using U in a guitar build? Yes, all of our copper rodded guitars, most of them have been made out of U. I don't particularly like it. It's very heavy. It's attractive, no doubt. Very heavy. It would make a good fretboard, though. It's a soft wood, technically, but it would work well as a fretwood. Jacksonville, yeah, at some point I'd like to go back to Alpha Instruments. In fact, that might be relatively soon, come to think of it. Jamie Krakramer says Zerakote is my absolute favourite wood. Got my first fretboard blanket arriving tomorrow. Enjoy. ATB in Cheltenham are well worth visiting. I was with them about a month ago, and yeah, I'd love to take a camera and have a proper mooch. But again, what I'm going to have to do is take the family to the holiday and then quietly sneak away. My daughter isn't particularly looking forward to it either, so I think she'd even prefer sitting in the corner of a guitar shop while I geek out than sitting next to a swimming pool somewhere. So maybe we'll have a couple of road trips doing that sort of thing. So there we go. Okay. Lisa Harshberger, without frets, if I could afford it, I would order one. Yeah, with or without. I mean, we could do absolutely custom. In fact, we could do it. It doesn't have to have. We could do it to suit most budgets, to be honest, or many budgets. Finally, Sandy Drozdak, finally officially diagnosed with ADHD. Hoping that it's not too late to enter GGBO, since I should be able to tame my squirrel brain enough to do it now. Congratulations. I've just had somebody's at the door. You can hear the dogs going. I've just had the notification that essentially over the next 6 months, I'm hopefully going to be getting some medication. It's taking ages and ages and ages. But yes, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Cool. Is Monty's in Cheltenham? I didn't realise that. I'd love to visit him. Okay. Well, look, everybody, we're running low on questions, and obviously there's something going on up at the house, so I should probably check and maybe even go and get some lunch. So there we go. I'm going to say thank you very much for your support and for watching. I'm not going to be doing the rest of this on a live stream. It's mostly just crowning and leveling and just the stuff that you've all seen. So, so yeah, it is what it is. Please have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you are in the world. If at all possible, get some guitar building done. All of the hammering has rotated out one of the grub screws here in the bridge. So my action's going to be completely different. Isn't that hilarious? So all the grub screws have been moving through the hammering. Okay, yeah, if you haven't yet, there's a new video on the main channel, me taking apart an incredibly interesting Taylor solid body. They've now discontinued it, which is sad, in my opinion. It's an epic guitar. You should check it out. And yeah, keep well. I will catch you on the flip side after the holiday. So the next live stream will be Sunday the 14th, if I'm recovered. So yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun indeed. All right, cool. Cheerio. That was just